comes
Prince
from
William's
letters
drive
patent
to
from George V,
modernize the royal family
and as
distances
a child
it from
of
the
a
shadows
monarch.
of Prince
And really only a
Andrew.
monarch can then remove that. But what I do detect from all this very much is the hand of the Prince of Wales behind this. I think he's the one who's really been taking a hard line.
I feel like we need to dive into the history of this huge decision by King Charles to strip Prince Andrew of his title and all honours. And that's not to put them in abeyance, that is completely stripping him of them. Let's speak to Nick Serple, former Times Radio commentator and former BBC obituaries editor, who is very good across the detail on this. Nick, good evening.
Good evening, Kate.
Look, really good to hear from you. First of all, I would love your reaction to this huge decision by King Charles today to strip Prince Andrew of his title. Prince Andrew will surrender the lease on Royal Lodge, so he'll move out of Royal Lodge, move into the royal estate, the private royal estate in Sandringham. What is your reaction to this?
Well, I think it was inevitable, to be perfectly honest. It's come very suddenly. You said there was no precedent for it in the last century. I can't think of a precedent at any time in English history as for what's happened today. So it is quite a moment of history. There's been a lot of talk about him losing his titles, what the king should do, and people have been saying, well, maybe Parliament should get involved. It's not really Parliament's duty or responsibility to deal with something like this, because Andrew's title as Prince comes from letters patent from George V, and as a child of a monarch. And really only a monarch can then remove that. But what I do detect from all this very much is the hand of the Prince of Wales behind this. I think he's the one who's really been taking a hard line. And while I'm not privy to conversations in the royal household, I would guess that William has been pushing very, very hard indeed for this to happen.
Yeah, I mean, we've heard that quite a bit today, and it sort of represents the closing of one chapter very firmly, making way for a modern monarchy. I mean, how much do you think Prince William would have had to persuade his father that this was the right thing to do? We've been commenting tonight on King Charles being heckled earlier in the week, and how embarrassing that would have been for him.
Well, I think it would have been embarrassing. I would have thought the king would have been reluctant to actually, what he's done is almost embarrassed his brother in public. But I think that's down to Andrew and Andrew's arrogance in not even admitting that, he might have been at fault in any way. And you made the point just now that he hasn't been found guilty of anything. He's never admitted to anything. But I think the tenor I was getting from his attitude was, hey, I'm Prince Andrew. It's nothing to do with me, really. If he'd have somebody suggested the other day,